colleagues, students, and guests. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day to listen to our presentation. Today, I'll be talking about the many wonderful wildlife species found in the forest over limestone of Samar Island. My name is Des Fernandez. I'm an assistant professor under the Animal Biology Division of IBS, and I also serve as a project staff for the CONServe Kaigangan program. My co-author for this study is Mr. Paul John Tolentino, a University Research Associate for the program. CONServe Kaigangan is a research program focused on the assessment and conservation of forest over limestone ecosystems in Samar Island, and it's a 3-year research program of UPLB and Samar State University. So forest over limestone, or kaigangan as the local residents call them, is a type of forest formation where limestone dissolution and the abundance of calcium carbonate contribute to irregular rock outcrops called karsts. This forest type is varied in composition with short stunted trees in areas where more rock is exposed, to some areas with dipterocarps reaching up to 35 meters tall. However, the biodiversity within these forests may be threatened by unsustainable tourism and resource extraction such as mining for limestone, illegal logging, and of course wildlife poaching. The Philippines possesses extensive forest over limestone areas, but the diversity of vertebrate wildlife from these ecosystems, particularly in Samar Island, is not well studied. Only a handful of expeditions have been conducted due to the difficult rocky terrain of limestone karsts and the unstable peace and order situation in the region. Thus, our research aimed to determine the vertebrate wildlife diversity associated with selected forest over limestone areas in Samar Island. We established a total of 8 transects in selected municipalities of Samar Island, namely Paranas, Taft, and Giwan, and we initially planned to establish transects in Basay, but upon close coordination with the military and local government, we decided not to push through with our activities there. We conducted the field assessment on October 1 to 16, 2019, but before that we acquired a GP from DENR and a permit from the UPLB Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee. The methods that we used were adopted and modified from the Biodiversity Assessment and Monitoring System of DENR, which is used in all protected areas across the country. Some of these methods include a simple line transect count for the survey of birds, wherein we used binoculars and cameras with telephoto lenses to identify bird species, and to capture birds and volant or flying mammals, we used 12-meter mist nets set along possible flyways such as forest edges, ridges, and feeding trees. And to capture small non-volant mammals, steel box traps baited with roasted coconut and peanut butter were set along the transects. Herpetofauna or amphibians and reptiles were either hand-captured or retrieved from pitfall traps. Larger wildlife were detected through other indices of presence such as feces, tracts, and recent sightings from our guides. And for example, there were signs of a den or sleeping area characteristic of those utilized by wild pigs. You can see this bare muddy area here. And note that all captured wildlife were carefully handled and released in their site of capture after species identification. For example, this is a video of a rodent being released. So in our survey, we recorded 61 vertebrate wildlife species found in selected forest over limestone areas of Samar Island. 23 of them were endemic to the Mindanao pike. This stands for Pleistocene Aggregate Island Complex, meaning that Mindanao and Samar share many endemic species in common as they were theoretically part of a single larger landmass until sea levels rose after the last ice age. Based from fieldwork and ethnobiological interviews, we found 5 amphibian species, accounting for 10% of all species, 4 of which are endemic to the Mindanao Paik. There were 20 reptile species, accounting for 31%, 9 of which are Mindanao Paik endemic, 21 bird species, accounting for 31%, 7 of which are endemic to the Mindanao Paik, 6 volant mammal species, accounting for 10%, 1 of which is a Mindanao Paik endemic, and finally 9 non-volant mammals, accounting for 18%, 3 of which are Mindanao Paik endemic. All 5 amphibian species found in our survey are endemic to the Philippines. The Mindanao Paik endemic species are Platymantis guentheri, Platymantis robori, Platymantis bayani, and Pulchrana grandicula. This represents a new locality record for Platymantis bayani in Paranas, as it was only previously found in Taft in eastern Samar. So this is a new record for the west side of the island. Additionally, Platymantis robori and bayani are listed as vulnerable species under the DENR 2019 updated national list of threatened Philippine fauna. We recorded 20 reptile species, including 6 snake species and 14 lizard species, including the Samar endemic Cyrtodactylus sumuroi and many others that are endemic to the Mindanao Paik. We recorded 21 bird species, and although we did not have any sightings during our assessment, our field site in Taft is a well-known Philippine eagle conservation area. Of these birds, many are Mindanao Paik endemic, and 7 of them are listed as threatened based on the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN Red List. We recorded 6 species of bats, one of which was the lesser musky fruit bat, which is a Mindanao Paik endemic. And finally, we recorded 9 species of non-volant or non-flying mammals. Well, for the Philippine flying, quote-unquote, flying lemur, of course, they aren't really flying mammals. They are just gliding mammals. And of these, 3 of them are endemic to the Mindanao Paik. This is a list of threatened wildlife species we found in some of the forest over limestone areas in Samar Island. Some of these are vulnerable to endangered and critically endangered based on the IUCN Red List and the Philippine Red List. The software PAST 4.03 was used to compute for the following biodiversity indices: species richness, which is the number of different species in a community; Shannon index, which measures the diversity of a taxon in a community; Simpson index, which measures the evenness of a community; and dominance, which measures the dominance of a taxon in a community. For amphibians, both Paranas and Taft had the same number of species recorded, but Taft had a higher Shannon diversity index, higher evenness, and lower dominance. In terms of bird and reptile diversity, Paranas had the highest Shannon diversity index, highest evenness, and lowest dominance for both taxa. In terms of volant and non-volant mammal diversity, it was Taft that had the highest Shannon diversity index, highest evenness, and lowest dominance for both taxa. In conclusion, we found that Paranas had the highest reptile and bird species diversity, while Taft had the highest amphibian, volant mammal, and non-volant mammal diversity. But it should be noted that the biodiversity index values for Paranas and Taft in all taxa are relatively close, as both areas are part of a somewhat contiguous old-growth Kaigangan in the middle of Samar Island Natural Park. Although Giwan had the lowest species diversity, possibly owing to its low elevation and less dense forest cover, it is the most understudied area, and this study contributed many new locality records of species in this municipality. And finally, this study represents the most comprehensive survey of forest over limestone biodiversity in Samar Island. In fact, the results of the study have already been used to produce various communication, education, and public awareness materials, and the dissemination of this knowledge about the diversity of wildlife in Samar's forest over limestone will be crucial in gaining local and international support for its conservation and protection. The information gathered through this research will also be used in enhancing ecotourism and improving management strategies in Samar Island. We have already presented our results to the Protected Area Management Boards of Samar Island Natural Park and Giwan Marine Protected Landscape and Seascape. In fact, SINP is nominated as a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site, and the study will be able to support this bid in order to help highlight the ecological and aesthetic values of forest over limestone karst landscapes on a global stage. Everyone, thank you very much for listening to this presentation. We'd like to thank UPLB, SSU, DOST, DOST-PCAARRD, the PAMB of SINP, the PAMB of GMRPLS, and the local government units of Paranas, Taft, Giwan, and Basay, and of course our partner People's Organization in Samar, BOSIS. And last but not the least, I'd like to thank the Project 1 team of CONServe Kaigangan. If you'd like to learn more about our research program, you can email us at kaigangan.uplb@up.edu.ph, visit our website at kaigangan.uplb.edu.ph, subscribe to our YouTube channel, CONServe Kaigangan, and follow us on Facebook at fb.com/ConKaigangan. Thank you very much for listening.